Hogwarts Legacy, a single-player action RPG based on the Harry Potter series of books. It came out in February of 2023 and after 2 months it has 135k reviews on Steam, with 90% of them being positive, mine included. In just the first 2 weeks, it sold 12 million copies across all platforms. Looks like the game released just in time for millennial Potterheads who are now adults and can afford to buy a AAA game, instead of wasting craft supplies on handmade garbage. Is this supposed to be Mandrake? The character creation also appeals to the game's target audience. One can make a tired teenager suffering from acne to fully resemble themselves when they were this age. To be honest, since it's every kid's dream to study in Hogwarts, I expected more options to create a character that looks exactly like you. But I guess people don't really want that, and thanks to Baldur's Gate 3, we know what most players would look like.
Thank you, Professor. I suppose we'll meet again in the map chamber.
Let's dive deeper into Hogwarts, the school of wizardry and witchcraft. There are gonna be some spoilers, so if you haven't played the game yet, now is the perfect time to do so. Especially since Empress has finally cracked it. I mean, I'm not advising you to pirate it, of course you should buy it, as this way you will not only support the developers, but J.K. Rowling herself too. The story takes place during the late 1800s, when the fact that wizards use owls to exchange letters still makes sense. So if you were hoping to meet any familiar faces, forget that, not even baby Dumbledore. Instead, you'll be playing a nameless 5th-year student who can see traces of ancient magic, which will help you to complete the 4 Keepers' trials and defeat your enemies. While doing that, you get to explore the world, solve some puzzles, meet a bunch of interesting characters, and complete side quests for them.
Plant the seeds there now.
Yes, Mommy.
As any new student, you begin by being assigned to one of the houses.
You come here with preferences and preconceptions.
Mainly, it affects what your common room looks like, and grants access to a few exclusive quests. But only the Hufflepuff's unique quest is actually worth it, as it allows you to visit Azkaban. Looks like an ordinary Russian jail. No matter what house you choose, you get to befriend 4 important student characters, 1 per house: the nerd, the badass, the righteous, and the Slytherin. Alright, a charming and extroverted, fixated boy who's willing to kill anyone for his obsession. He even tried to kill me.
Excuse me, brah. You're excused. And I'm not your brah.
Okay, I'm turning you in for this.
What? Turn me in?
Besides these 4, there are plenty of other NPC students, professors, traders, and more.
Can you help me?
Oh, and cats. You'll get to meet a variety of cats and places around people, and you can pet them. Even if you don't want to, you must pet the cats. And the animation is unskippable. Combat is surprisingly interesting and flexible, with upgradable spells. If you want a stealthy playstyle, you can go around casting Petrificus Totals on everybody, like a pussy. But if you prefer action, there's a bunch of spells for that. And you can spam them mindlessly, since the game forces you to use different types of spells to break enemies' shields. There are 3 types of combat spells, plus 3 forbidden ones like... But they are pretty much useless, so I only use them in the Dark Arts arena. Besides, I'm not a psycho. Shields can be also broken with rocks and barrels, and the ancient magic. But I would recommend you to save it for finishers, as they are unique per enemy type. You can upgrade your ancient magic by collecting its traces that can be found everywhere in the Highlands. My favorite strategy is to turn weaker enemies into exploding barrels and throw them at the stronger ones. It is really satisfying. You can also push enemies off of ledges or trick them into falling down. Poor troll couldn't handle the fall damage. Don't forget that you can also die from falling. Most of my deaths were out of combat to merciless gravity, since the game grants you a few seconds of invulnerability when you get badly hit. So if you have Vigonat potions ready, it's pretty much impossible to die in a fight. You have access to 6 types of potions, and 4 of them can be used in combat, but honestly, all you need is to brew the maximum amount of Vigenvelds and you're good. There are also 3 combat plans which are fun, but personally I didn't use neither potions nor plans since I'm too single-minded about my gameplay. Once I find a working strategy that I like, I just keep doing it again and again and again and again and again. Same for defense. There are two types of hits, red and yellow ones. You can use Protego against yellow attacks, but you have to dodge the red ones. So why even bother with Protego if you can just roll away from everything, am I right? Well, I guess because it allows you to stun enemies with Stupefy and throw stuff back, but I just kept rolling till the very end. What I liked about Hogwarts combat is that it allows you to choose your own approach. Do what you feel is most impactful.
Exalted blade.
Any strategy you can come up with will work and help you beat wizards, goblins, bosses and other foes. Yet, in the end, no one will
You'll
believe.
believe I defeated an Ashwinder by myself.
The world design is the best part of this game. Everything else from combat to story is fine, but attention to detail in locations is astonishing. There are 3 main zones, Hogwarts itself, Hogsmeade and Scottish Highlands, and all of them have a lot of unique places and minutiae. Hogwarts layout is a bit confusing and Highlands are huge, so it's good to have blue flames to teleport around, especially since you can't fly in Hogwarts and Hogsmeade for some reason. I mean, I can use magic outside Hogwarts, but I can't use my broom indoors? On second thought, I get stuck too easily, so maybe it's for the best.
Enjoy suffering, do you?
In Hogwarts, besides common rooms, you'll get to see the famous moving staircase, the Great Hall, the Room of Requirement, the Death Day Party Room, and even the House Elf's Kitchen, if you find the right pair to tickle. And of course, you'll get to attend classes for all magic subjects, from exciting ones when you get to learn new spells and practice them, to history of magic. They are realistic too. In Hogsmeade, you'll get to visit the Graveyard, the Three Broomsticks Tavern, and cool shops filled with important magic items such as wands, scrolls, potions, weed, sweets, and prank supplies. Next, the Highlands, the biggest location where all the hundreds of little time-padding challenges take place, like Merlin trials, balloons, butterflies, constellations, broom races, etc. There are also a lot of enemies to fight, like bandits, spiders, trolls, or all of them at once in battle arenas. The one thing I'm not tired of is killing poachers and saving animals. Come on, you're free now. Go into the wild. You can also catch them to live in your little dream world, where a special few will get all the comfort they need. All in all, the game is very atmospheric, filled with lots of authentic details, interesting little interactions, and fun background events, like this one.
All I know is he said, a tomato animagus.
The word is amato.
Oh, George! I know his voice.
Oh, he's after my boober tubers. Can you get him away?
George, stop it! Look, he knows his name. George?
What are you doing with a sheep? You can't bring a sheep into
I
school.
was sure it was you.
Out! Right now! Now!
I look nothing like a sheep.
If you engage with the world and avoid ridiculous get-ups, it will truly be an immersive experience. I must not tell lies, the game is atmospheric, but not a masterpiece by any means. Any Harry Potter fan will love it, and even if you're not that fond of the series, it can still be enjoyable. Avalanche did a good job of recreating the magical world visually, but it lacks in spirit and logic. Players' choices don't really matter. You have only 2 to 3 options in dialogues, and all of them lead to similar responses and the same outcome. There are no consequences for your actions, and no sense of urgency at all. You can explore the world gathering collections, completing side quests, solving puzzles, or just flying around, all while you are being hunted by a bunch of merciless villains and dark wizards. Besides that, things like deaths and sacrifices of NPCs weren't that impactful due to poor delivery. I will say though, the one who came up with the idea of using the Room of Requirement as players' headquarters is a genius. It makes perfect sense in universe and offers a lot of mechanical benefits. And I like how some spells can be used for more than one thing, like Lumos for solving moth puzzles, and the Disillusionment Charm for looting mimic chests. As for game mechanics, there are a lot of little activities that feel like they are just padding the game time. It took me 83 hours to get all of the achievements and complete all challenges and collections, and none of it was hard, just time-consuming and monotonous. There are 95 Merlin trials, and every time you complete one, you have to watch this unskippable cutscene. It lasts 10 seconds, which means that I've spent almost 16 minutes solely watching this. And I have no idea how much more I've spent on finding those terrifying demon statues or picking the locks. Oh, nice click on 2. When you learn Lahamora level 3, you still need to pick level 1 locks manually. The hell is this spell for then if I have to do it by hand like some lousy rogue? Besides that, a lot of infamous foes and bosses don't vary in mechanics and don't have unique movesets. They are simply stronger copies of normal enemies. And normal enemies' behaviors are... well, let's just say it's not perfect. The final boss fight was fun though. All in all, I'd recommend playing the game, but going for 100% completion isn't worth it. 30 hours of atmospheric and immersive experience is enough. After that, the game becomes boring. I will never play it again, and not just because there is no replayability whatsoever, but because I don't want to hear
Revelio.
ever again.
Subscribe, comment.